Everything you know about solving a famous murder case is wrong. There's no last time DNA match, no brilliant detective connecting the final dot after years of searching. There's only a 75 years old cold case, a ghost that haunts Hollywood, and a killer who got away with it. You know her face, a beautiful dark-haired woman with a flower in her hair, but behind that smile is a story so twisted, it's been a nightmare for decades. This is the story of Black Dahlia and the 7 deadly clues her killer left, not for the police to solve the case, but maybe to prove they never could. So let's start with who was the Black Dahlia. See, before the headlines, she was Elizabeth Short. She was 22 years old, an aspiring actress who drifted to Los Angeles with the dream of seeing her name in lights. She was known for her striking looks, her love of black clothing, and a smile that could light up the room. But on January 15, 1947, that smile was stolen and twisted into a permanent, horrifying grin. At evening, a mother taking her child for a walk in quite a Los Angeles neighborhood stumbled upon what she thought was a discarded mannequin, but it wasn't. It was Elizabeth Short's body, served into two halves, drained of all blood, and posed with a chilling precision that still haunts investigators today. So let's start with 7 deadly clues that police missed. The police launched one of the biggest manhunt in LA history, but with every step they took, the killer seemed to be one step ahead. Were they just outsmarted, or did they miss the obvious? No one knows. Let's start with clue 1, the surgical precision. Elizabeth's body was cut in half with a technique called hemicorporectomy. This isn't a butcher's hack job. It's a procedure taught in medical schools in 1930s. Her body was also completely drained of blood. This pointed to be a killer with a surgical or a medical knowledge. The LAPD was overwhelmed with hundreds of false confessions and focused on jilted lovers and random drifters, and largely ignoring this giant flashing sign. Clue number 2, the stacked scene. There was no blood at the crime scene, not a single drop. This meant she was killed somewhere else, washed clean, and carefully placed in that vacant lot. The killer had a secure private location where they could perform these horrifying acts without being seen or heard. It was a clear indicator they weren't homeless or a transient. But did the police ever see this canvas for this hidden slider house? Clue number 3, the killer's taunting package. About a week after that murder, the killer did something incredibly bold. They mailed a package to the Los Angeles Examiner, which included a newspaper containing Elizabeth's birth certificate, social security card, and an address book. But here's the twist. Every single item had been wiped clean with gasoline, erasing any possible fingerprints. This killer was giving the police evidences while simultaneously proving they could never be caught. Clue number 4, the missing pages. The address book that killer signed, several pages has been ripped out. This wasn't random. The killer was actively removing names, potential witnesses, friends who knew too much, or maybe even their own name. Who was Elizabeth associated with that killer needed to protect? The police never found out who was on those missing pages. Clue number 5, the carved out tattoo. Elizabeth had a small rose tattoo on her thigh. When her body was found, a piece of her flesh where a tattoo used to be was carved out and missing. This is a deeply personal act of desecration. It wasn't just a murder, it was erasure of her identity. But was that tattoo? Was it a symbol of a relationship the killer wanted to obliterate from history? Clue number 6, the bloody cement sack. Clue number 6, the bloody cement sack. Near the body, police found a cement sack with watery blood inside. This was a direct link to the killer's cleanup process. It was crucial forensic evidence. In the media frenzy and the chaos of investigation, this clue was barely analyzed and its potential was lost. It was a physical piece of killer's process, left right at the scene. Clue number 7, the secret tapes. This is the most chilling clue of all. The police had a prime suspect, a brilliant and a wealthy doctor named George Hoddle. They bugged his house, and in 1950, they caught him on a tape saying, "Supposing I did kill the Black Dahlia, they can't prove it now. They can't talk to my secretary anymore because she's dead." They had a confession, a direct recorded confession, and they did absolutely nothing. Why would they let a potential confession to the crime of the century just disappear? It makes you wonder, doesn't it? The police weren't just looking for a random maniac. They were up against a calculating, intelligent predator who knew their every move. Maybe the biggest clue they missed wasn't a piece of evidence at all. Maybe it was the fact that the killer was someone so connected, so powerful, that the truth had been buried even deeper than Elizabeth Short herself. What if the mystery was never about who did it, but why they were allowed to get away with it? So these are the 7 deadly clues that they missed. Share your thoughts on this case in the comment section. Do you have a theory? If this mystery has you hooked, don't forget to like, subscribe and share. And if you want to know more about the chilling case of Jack the Ripper, click the video that's coming on the screen. Until then, stay safe.